right, so I am live. Let's see. There's nobody watching, so now I'm just going to go share the link to social media. All right, so social media, let's do Twitter. Just bear with me, everybody. One person. I have not booted up this laptop in so long. I actually booted it up because I'm going to be starting to edit my movie marathon for last year soon. All right, so I tweeted that. Facebook. All right. Yeah, everybody, so post to Facebook. All right, post. I'm definitely new to this whole live streaming thing on YouTube. I had no clue you had to have, like, I don't know anything about like broadcast, like live broadcasting systems and softwares and all that stuff. So I'm just doing a simple webcam thing. But I hope everything shared. Let's see. Bear with me, everybody. It's been a while since I've done this YouTube thing, so yeah. All right, so basically I want to start to go live randomly because I miss being on the community and like just talking to everybody. And so I was like, you know what? Let me get out my laptop. I dusted it off. It has been so long since I've used this laptop, like I said. So I booted it up, had to do updates and all that kind of stuff. And you know, with this quarantine and everything like that, I really wanted to go to start randomly going live. Pardon my hair. Haven't gotten my hair cut in a while because the barbershops are closed and my hair always froze up and gets all crazy and weird. So that's why it looks like it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, so I guess let me see, make sure the chat and everything's up. So if anybody ever does go into the chat, just making sure. Yep, I just typed hi in the chat. Yeah, so this first stream might start off kind of awkward because it's been a while. But I definitely wanted to figure this all out. So yeah, if the one person who's here, if you feel like saying hey, just say hey in the chat so I know who you are. If not, yeah, so I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff I've been doing since being on quarantine. So I don't really talk about work on my YouTube channel or anything like that, but I will say I work at a hospital, so I'm essential and I still work 40 plus hours a week. And so it's been very stressful over the last month or so. And yeah, so basically I've been going to work, coming home, staying home. Whenever I go shopping and all that kind of stuff, I pretty much go grocery shopping once a week, and it's usually Saturday mornings, right when like Walmart or the grocery store opens. Go in there, get out. I have my masks on, and I have asthma, so I have to watch out for that kind of stuff with the virus and everything like that. But yeah, so other than that, and I'm not even gonna be going to the store though, probably. Um, yeah, so that is pretty much what I've been watching. A ton of movies. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you'll see everything I've watched. But I've really wanted to get back into making videos consistently, really for a while. I mean, it's been over a year, but I have really, really missed it, especially over the last few months. Watching, like my buddy Luke's videos and different people's videos. I'm like, gosh, there's nothing stopping me. Why haven't I done anything? A lot of it is work, motivational type stuff. So I figured I did video like to do all the time. Then I could at least go live. A lot of people are going live all the time now. And so I wanted to, just start doing this, and I can pretty much do this on a consistent basis. There's nothing stopping me from going live. So I'm just kind of trying to go over all this stuff and just make sure that everything is. God, my computer is like, I really need to. Okay. So, yeah, so if you come in, go into the chat, say hi, let me know you're here. I'm just going to talk. I know a lot of people won't expect me to go live, and so I probably won't get a lot of viewers. Most people will probably watch after the fact. So I am just going to just do what I do. So basically, over the last few weeks, I have wanted to finally start organizing my movie collection. So upstairs, I have a bookshelf that is loaded with DVDs. I had an area beside my kitchen that I had hundreds of movies in them. My collection behind me had stuff all stacked up all over everything. Stuff was piled in front of the ground, or in front of the shelf, was just stacks upon stacks upon stacks. And I just could not live like that anymore. I have my Criterion shelf over by my TV that has a lot of stuff on it. I think there's maybe 150 to 200 Blu-rays on that shelf. And I organized that one. That's the one I had to get organized first. And my wife has been trying to motivate me to get everything else organized. So literally this past week and a half, I went through all the bins. I would say 100 of those DVDs that were in the bins were actually movies that I had upgraded to Blu-ray that I hadn't done anything with. Whenever I upgraded, I used to bring them to Movie Stop or a place like that to kind of get trade in for credit, and eventually go get other Blu-rays and stuff like that. But that was building up. So I probably got rid of about 300 total, 300 to 350 DVDs, and I did not want to I wanted to give them to somebody that I know will appreciate them. Well, I supervise a few guys at my work, and one of them really loves movies, and we talk about movies all the time, but he doesn't really have a lot. He doesn't have a Blu-ray player or anything like that. And he's kind of older, so I literally gave them all to him. And those tote bags, like a grocery store tote bag that you could buy? I think I gave him a total 6 of those full of DVDs and stuff. Some of them, I would say about 150 of them, are movies that I have on Blu-ray now. But then the other ones are ones that I was, on Prime. So I ended up watching it that way. And I'm not one of those that gives away, just lets go of DVDs because it's not Blu-ray. Some of them, I'm talking about the older Warner Brothers snap cases that are the old DVDs that just do not, back when I still had a regular TV before I really got into the aspect ratio of movies back in the late 90s when I started buying DVDs. They were all full screen kind of things, and those are the ones that I gave away. So with that said, I was able to finally get everything kind of lined up. There's DVDs and stuff there. There's some stuff over there. I still got, this area to clean up. That's my MASH Blu-ray or DVD set, and I'm gonna, get that all packed up. Just got some little minor cleaning up to do, and then I'm gonna start organizing everything, A, B, C, D, like all in alphabetical order. So with DVDs that I'm keeping that I don't want displayed, like obviously I want to keep like stuff like these Warner Brothers special edition sets, like the Around the World in 80 Days that are in these nice DVDs. I keep those, and I'm keeping those in the cases. But some of the movies that I wanted to keep that I didn't really need the cases for, just to save room, I bought a bunch of these DVD binders that holds a ton, like basically like TV seasons and stuff like that. I took them out of the cases and put them in here, and I packed away the cases in those bins and put them up in the storage closet so I'd actually have access to these. So I'm in the process of doing these, and like, for instance, like this one has some TV shows in it, so it has like, All Married with Children. I got my Scrubs ones in here, Roseanne, just some of the TV shows that I go back, Beavis and Butthead, just random things in there. And, I got a lot of my comedy stuff here in here as well. So it just saves room. And basically, I have a few more back there that I'm going to fill up with some more DVDs that I have. I'm going to pack away the cases, and then I'm going to have them all. These are all alphabetized already. And so then I'm going to put a label on them, what's in here, and it's going to go right on the shelf. So that's my plan with that. But this has been like 2 years in the making. I've been trying to do this, and it just never, I got way too overwhelmed. As told by Gonzo, hey Ryan, hello from Seattle. Hello. How are you? How's everything going up there? I know you guys up there been getting hit pretty hard with the virus as well. Hopefully everything is leveling out up there. So this is, I've been able to get some of this much needed work done with my collection since I'm not going out and doing a bunch of stuff. Keep in mind, I didn't always I'm not, during work weeks, I don't really go out and do a bunch of crap anyways, like during the work week, but this time, it's really forced me to stay in on the weekends and not socialize. So there's no excuse for me not to get this stuff done. So like the bookshelf upstairs, I have a ton of like movie books and stuff like that I'm gonna end up putting up there, and because I can't fit all the stuff down here. We already have a gazillion bookshelves and all that kind of stuff down here. Let's see. All right. So yeah, so if you're watching this, say something in chat so I know that you're here. Like I said, I haven't done this in a while, so I'm still very rusty. I used to do live shows all the time, had people on back in the Google Hangout days, but I have not done it in a while. But to tell you what I mean about how they call our house the library. Everybody does, because I got my movies. But not only that, there's bookshelves all over the place that are like full of books. So like those over there. How I am with movies is how my wife is with books. So we have tons of art, I guess you could say, in our house. And so, all right. So that is what I've been up to as of late with my collection. Let's see. Yeah, so eventually I'm going to get some kind of live software and probably do some like custom stuff. But this is pretty much what I'm going to use for right now until I get all that stuff figured out. Seattle is a dead zone. Nobody around. All the stores are closed. That's rough. I mean, that's pretty much like what we've been. I mean, not to that extent, but we have that like a stay-at-home order here in Florida, and I live in Jacksonville, which unfortunately made the news today because our governor and the mayor of Jacksonville had the bright idea that we should start relaxing some of these restrictions, and so they opened the beaches from 5 p.m. until like 8, and then from 8 a.m. until like 11, so people could go and exercise and stuff if they want. But still, people were out there with like their towels and coolers and stuff, and that's a big no-no. That was not what they. And the thing is that today in Florida we have a record high of deaths. Like today's death rate in Florida because of the virus is higher than it's ever been, based on all the stats that came out today. And so I completely disagree with. And I grew up in Jax Beach. My blood, I've always said my blood runs Jax Beach. That's everything in my life revolves around the beach in some way. Grew up surfing, all that I understand the whole thing. And I still don't understand why they open up the beaches, because to me, there's so many other things that we need to worry about. Like, there's a lot of senior citizens and a lot of people in the beach area, and everybody's just getting together. And a lot of the people that are going, and I'm not trying to like just say that it's all one group of people, but there's some very ignorant people out there, people who didn't believe that the virus was that big of a deal to begin with and all that kind of stuff. And they're going out there and like just trying to break the law and trying to be rebellious. And it infuriates me because it's in the long run, it's going to make it worse for everybody else. And it's just frustrating. So yeah, we're actually, other than essential businesses, everything like, everything's pretty much closed. I mean, I know they want to start relaxing some of the restrictions, but I really don't think we should yet. I think it's still way too soon. And I see that. This is my camera set up. I sat here, listened to my record player. We just talked music. I had my guitar out where I was playing a guitar and everything like that. And me and him were not together. And that's, in this day and age, there's no reason why people have to be together like that. Another thing is, it was just recently Easter, and usually all of our families get together, like everybody in the family gets together. We all didn't do that this year. So what did we do? Me and my wife, like, we made dinner here, and then everybody in their own little areas made dinner, and then we all went on Zoom at the same time, and we actually basically ate at the same time and hung out, and it was fun. And nobody, I work at a hospital, and different people work at different areas that are essential. We all interact with people in some way, shape, or form, and I just don't agree with people just going out, and because it's all that kind of stuff that's going to make this thing last longer. It's very frustrating, especially me working at a hospital. I see firsthand how dangerous this virus and stuff is, and it's crazy. Like, it was crazy walking down the hallway at the hospital for the first time after all the COVID patients were, in their rooms, and like seeing all the precautions that were put into place because of it. Like, it's just very eye-opening. Plus, I'm ready for this to be over. One, are so uncomfortable, and because of my asthma, I have trouble breathing and stuff like that too. But it is a necessity. It makes me feel safe. But yeah, that's as much as most I've ever talked about work, pretty much on YouTube. But that's why I don't mention where I work, what I do. There's a million different hospitals in Jacksonville. So, but I wanted to say that, so I haven't really been stuck at home the entire time. In fact, I was at work today. All right. I miss baseball season. Yes, I do too, majorly. It's so funny because like after last year, and then me being obviously a big Red Sox fan with all my Red Sox stuff all over the place, I am just I was ready for the season to start because of the whole scandal stuff going on, and I was ready just to get baseball back. And then with all this stuff going on, missing opening day and not knowing when sports is going to start again, it's been rough. It has been very rough, but I understand. I understand why, and I completely am okay with their decision to do that. It's just the selfish side of me is like, when's baseball going to be back? Because I'm not big into football like I used to be. I don't really watch basketball. Baseball is my thing, um, and I've loved baseball my whole life. TA Curd, say hello to you. Hello. Yeah, I'm ready for baseball to start whenever it does start one day, whenever that is. So hopefully it starts. Even though I don't know how I feel though about the whole, if they start playing in like November or or like September, like how they're gonna do like a short season. I know they've talked about all that kind of stuff, but I don't know how I feel about all that. I almost would rather them just maybe start earlier the next year if it's only going to be like a 2 month season. Who knows? I mean, unless they want to do something crazy like do like a triple hitter every day, or triple header like every day, like that. They'd kill themselves over that. But so tonight, usually on Friday nights when I get off of work, I'm either too exhausted to do anything and I fall asleep at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, pretty much how I am Monday through Friday. This Friday and last Friday too, I decided to stay up and I was going to be watching movies, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go live instead. But the movies that I was going to be watching, I'm going to be watching them over the weekend, but just wanted to kind of show what I started watching before I decided to go live instead. Criterion DVD Cassavetes set with this in it. Love this film. It's either a love it or hate it. People go into it thinking it's Sparrow's character, who's a shady nightclub owner who has some big gambling problems and he owes a lot of money. And they're basically like, we'll forgive all your debt if you kill this guy for us. But that's very thin. Like the narrative is it's almost non-existent because it's basically just a character study. You're following this guy around. That's what throws people off. I thought it was going to be like an assassination type thing, like from beginning to end. And I actually was very happy when it ended up being a very awesome character study. And so I love pretty much every Cassavetes film, but for some reason, and I've said this to people before, I love like Woman Under the Influence. I love Faces. I love Shadows Opening Night. I love Cassavetes' work. But for some reason, this one is my favorite. It holds a soft spot in my heart, and I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Because I guess I've just heard people talk crap about this movie. Like, not really now, because I'm with a lot of like-minded cinephiles, like in my YouTube community of friends. But people always crapped on this movie, and they were like, "Oh, it's just boring," all that kind of stuff. And so I think I went into it thinking, "Oh, this is the neglected movie that this movie needs some love." But from literally this first second I started watching it, I was like, "Oh." It's the same with football season over here. Football over here, they're talking about the games behind closed doors on TV, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. You say good film. I find this more approachable for some reason. Go figure. I completely agree too. Like after watching it a few times, like over the years, like to me, I find this probably like his more approachable film because with like with Faces, really with Faces, you get a lot of improv style acting, and I personally love it. I love just people being in a room just talking. You don't know what's going on most of the time. It's just people, improv was all improv. But then like when I've watched like making of stuff, the Cassavetes documentary, like his films actually had more script than people really thought. But a lot of that was kind of written into the script after, I guess, all the improv and stuff like that. They kept what works. I'm sure some of it still is. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Faces is one of those movies that it's like, if you're not really into that at all, you're not going to be into that movie because it's just a lot of great actors just hamming it up, which I love. But I find this one his most but I find this is his most accessible movie too, mainly because like even though the plot, like the narrative is still really loose, I think since you're just dealing with one character with like one motive, like one issue, gambling, all this kind of stuff, you're following him. It's kind of easier to follow. Yeah, Faces is one that I like a lot, but it's probably the one I go to the least. In fact, I've only seen it twice. Meanwhile, I've seen, Shadows multiple times. I love Shadows. Opening night was good. Woman Under the Influence was actually my introduction to him after seeing so much love for it, and I loved it. And that was like the first time I saw Peter Falk like in a more serious kind of role, and I was blown away at how good he was. And Gina Rollins is just phenomenal. I always get confused. Is it Gina or Jenna? Let me know. If it's Jenna Rollins, put a J in the comments. If it's Gina, just put G, how it's pronounced, because I've heard it both ways as well. She is an incredible actress, but this is always the one that I've gone to the most, and I love it. So, all right, I've been live for 30 minutes now. Wow. So, I was going to watch this. Gina Rollins and indeed Falk are so good in Woman. No good asking me, mate. I'm English. Yeah, I've heard people say it both ways, and I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, but then again, I guess I'll just be ignorant with the situation. But I love her films, and so I was tied between this and watching Fritz Lang's Ministry of Fear. I pulled out my Criterion Blu-ray of that. And then I also, even though I have the Criterion DVD, it's the first Criterion DVD that I ever bought, like in the early 2000s, The Seventh Seal. But I actually DVR'd that off the TCM channel because they're doing the TCM. It's in HD and stuff like that. So I don't have my DVD of The Seventh Seal is so old that I put it into my TV, and it's not just pillow box, it's window boxed, and it's very like this big, and it's so crappy looking. But I'm keeping the DVD just because it was my first Criterion I ever bought way back in the day. So I was tied between those, and I started watching The Seventh Seal, and I was like, oh man, I love this movie so much. and I love foreign movies and I love reading. But a little while ago, I fought a tired, a bunch of pressure of needing to go to sleep in my brain. And I was like, if I continue reading this, I'm going to fall asleep. And I want to stay up, see if I could do some kind of a live stream or something. So I switched over to The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. And so I started that as well. So I'm so weird sometimes with movies, because tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to finish watching this, and then I'm going to finish watching The Seventh Seal and enjoy my coffee. Ministry of Fear is pretty good, pretty different from the Green Book, though. But Seventh Seal is not a film to watch when tired. Yeah, it was one of those things where, yeah, I just, I don't feel like questioning mortality and God and all that stuff right before bed either. But the visuals are so good. And it is a great movie. Yeah, I really liked Ministry of Fear. I think I actually watched it in my 24-hour movie marathon that I have yet to finish editing from last year. I think I watched it in that. I watched it in one of them. It may have been a marathon I already uploaded, but I watched it then and I really, really liked it. Ray. Okay. Yeah, got the Blu-ray. Ministry of Fear, directed by Fritz Lang. Yeah, so basically this is about a guy who gets out of a mental hospital and he's just kind of walking around like a carnival, and he just gets thrust into all this like spy stuff. And that's all I want to say, because I don't want to ruin it, because I do remember the ending, because I've only seen it once and I saw it that time. I loved it. And it had touches of like a Hitchcock feel. It had touches of a Fritz Lang feel. But then, of course, Fritz Lang directed it. But it didn't quite reach Fritz Lang of the silent era that I really love. Woman in the Moon and, Metropolis and Die Nibelungen and like Dr. Mabuse, movies that I love. This, even though visually it was amazing, it didn't quite hit it for me like as those movies did. But I still really, really dug this movie. And I do want to read the novel by Graham Greene, because I actually, when I saw The Third Man for the first time, I read the book right after that too. Well, there's always an issue with American Lang. You have to take it for what it is. Yeah, and obviously he escaped, Nazi Germany and stuff like that, and he came here and he made a lot of films here. And I actually consider it like a benefit, like having even those American films, even though some of them are not nearly as good. It's just the fact that he was able to escape and continue to make good movies. Obviously, he probably was not going to reach the heights of, doing like another Metropolis or M or something like that. But I'd still say that some of his like not as good movies, like later in his career, like an American career, some of his like not as great movies, I feel like there still has to be something said about those. Stiff Kittens. Hey, Ryan. I enjoyed Cloak and Dagger a lot from Masters of Cinema, but obviously it has weaknesses. I watched that a few years ago, and I think I was so exhausted. I think I fell asleep and off and on during the whole thing. But I basically have a bunch of Fritz Lang movies that I want to rewatch and see for the first time in my Amazon wish list, so I don't forget. So I'm gonna get to them, because what was think you need to shave the beard off? No, I'm good. I plan on rewatching a lot of his movies eventually, but sometimes it just takes longer uh, to get to that, especially when there's so many other movies that I want to watch. I'm not one to, I don't own a lot of stuff I haven't seen, but there's some stuff that I own that I have needed to see, and I still need to see it. So, um, let's see. All right. So, yeah, that was pretty much what I was going against tonight with whatever movies I was going to watch. Yeah, you're right. I mean, so many movies, so little time to watch them, especially with work. Even like with the quarantine thing, I feel like I'll wake up on a weekend and I know I don't have to go do anything. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch a bunch of movies today. Then I get down here and I can't make up my mind what I want to watch. And it just never works out. I don't really get it, how some of this works. Cool. You're always going to have some kind of weird stuff inside of the on in a chat on YouTube. That's what YouTube does. Uh, Garbage Gamer, what's up, man? Yeah, it is rough just waking up and trying to figure out what you're going to watch. But yeah, listening to the news is very depressing, especially with everything um, going on. Yeah, Denis Belungen is so freaking good. Like whenever I've tried to like tell people to watch it, they they get thrown off by the length and the fact that it's a silent movie. And everybody I've ever anybody I've ever recommended it to has just loved it. I always say it's like the first half because it's a two-part movie. The first half is kind of like Lord of the Rings ish, if you think about it in that way, and then the second half is kind of like Game of Thrones in some ways too. But yeah, it's a great film. Garbage Gamer playing way too much Animal Crossing. I have no idea. Is it on the Switch? Is that what it's on? Yeah, some of the best stuff is in the second half of Denis Belungen. Like the yeah, I'd love it. It's so weird because the beginning of the movie is like so adventurous and um, like I don't know, optimistic, and then it just ends, and then all of a sudden it turns into this whole uh, like backstabbing fest, basically. Stiff Kittens. Try watching live screenings of the opera then, about 5 hours. Wow. That would be that would be I've never actually been to an opera. I'd be up for it though, especially if it was one that I was interested in seeing. Now when you say that try watching live screenings of the opera about 5 hours, do you mean that like in a great way? Or like, oh, try sitting through that? I'd be interested to know. Yeah, you got it. It's your social distancing from your girlfriend. It does. I mean, that is cool. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what Animal Crossing is. Like, what's the? I have never Googled it. I have no clue. Um, I have no clue. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna So live screens is something that I could probably like find on like YouTube, watching live screenings of it, because I would love to actually see it. Let's see. It's a life simulator. Oh. In fact, I'm going to Google it and see what it is, because I know a lot of people have been talking about it. You know, the funny thing is, the whole time that we've been, like, I've seen people talk about Animal Crossing, this whole time I thought it was for, I thought it was like a farm game or something. And so I'm like, man, there's a lot of people into a farm game. And I'm not really a big gamer, so like, I didn't really get it. I think the last game I downloaded that was like a big thing was like Pokemon Go, and I deleted it like after 2 weeks because I'm just not a gamer. I'm just a movie guy now. Like my brother, on the other hand, he's a couple years older than me. How I am with movies, he is with games, and he has like every game console, every game system. He's all about it. And even growing up, we would play like Super Mario 3 and Duck Hunt and stuff like that. And like, I would beat the games, but I would always like have him beat the bad guys for me so I could keep on going. And of course, I took all the credit. Oh man. All right. Oh yeah, Garbage Gamer. You are a lot more. In fact, like when I would be in like SNI with you guys, like when you started talking about games, I was always like, God, him and my brother would get along, because like you and Skinslip and like Sean would all be talking about like video games, and to me, it is like a foreign language, and I have nothing against it at all. I just don't. I'm not a gamer whatsoever. I don't like playing games in real life, and I don't like playing games in general. See, that was my poetic. They screen live from cinemas, showing up. You know what? I think they do. I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff like being advertised, like with Fathom Events. Here, like I know a few of the theaters do it, and I've seen them promote like operas and stuff like that. Gosh, it's 12:30. This is the latest I've been up in so long. I'm literally half asleep, but it's all good. Yeah, so I want to look and see if there was more. Let me see. So yeah, so I pretty much plan to just do these random live streams more often, because it'll help me get me back in the groove of talking in front of a camera again. Get rid of all my awkward speech, just by getting used to talking to a camera again and talking to really nothing other than the camera and the chat room. It's so funny because like when I first started making videos in 2011, like at first I was so nervous to do it because I'd been making videos like my whole life. I was not nervous at all. I could vlog into the middle of a crowd with a camera in front of my face, but it took me a lot of guts to just start a live stream, especially with my hair the way it is. My hair hadn't been this long since like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's all over the place. So I pretty much think I'm going to keep this live stream. I'll probably let it go for like an hour or so. We'll see. But I don't know how I'm going to organize it yet. Obviously, I want to do alphabetical order for my Blu-rays, but I'm such a nerd about like I feel like I have to have certain directors together, or else it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm going to organize it my way, and that's just what I mean. I don't. it's not like anybody's coming and they're like, let me look at the A's. I know where everything is. So if I just want to organize it my way to make it look neat, then I'm good to go. I do want to have like right, whoop, whoop, whoop. Like right here, I have that Lawrence Arabia set. I have my Bond set over here. I have all these, Singing in the Rain, Ben-Hur, Casablanca, all these anniversary gift sets right here. I want to have all that kind of stuff displayed. Raw. You interrupted me. Let me see. Sounds so familiar, and I feel like Okay, I remember on my phone, I have a list of movies on my phone that, like in the notepad part of my phone, that I have a whole list of stuff that I'm going to plow through, and that's one of them. Garbage Gamer. I've been plowing through all my Jackie Chan movies. That is another area of my filmography of film watching that I need to expand. I have not seen nearly as many Jackie Chan movies as I should have. All these new, like, Police Story and stuff on Criterion, like all these new sets that are coming out has really made me want to start watching them. Because, I've seen some of this stuff, like, of course, like the Rush Hour stuff, but I'm really talking stuff like from his early days. See it ASAP, but not near dinner time. Oh, okay. So basically, well, what if like, for instance, I watched Cannibal Holocaust and then I had a huge dinner during it and I enjoyed every bite. Is that weird? I'm just joking. I like Cannibal Holocaust a lot. I think it's a very underrated movie for what it is. Or for the statement that it has, but I would never, I don't even have any food or dinner within any kind of sorry, I was distracted trying to remember what the only game I play is. Yes, I play it often. Hit me or Skin Slip up in Discord and we can get a must-see list of Jackie Chan movies together for. Oh, I'd be all up for that because I want to so bad. Like, my friend Luke has been, over the past like year, I feel like, going through a bunch of Jackie Chan movies, and I'm just seeing him post about them and rave about them and make videos about them. I'm like, gosh, I really need to get into this. That's martial arts, like, movies are a huge area that I need to dive further into. I grew up watching like a lot of kung fu and everything like that. And some of the crappiest kung fu movies like in the world I watched as a kid and I loved them. And like Mystery Science, like 3000 type stuff that are just really bad. And I loved them. But as an adult, for some reason I haven't. I feel like it's definitely an area of movies that I need to get into so I could appreciate it more. I already do appreciate it, but I want to appreciate it more. So, all right. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. 53 minutes. I think this went pretty good for a first time in a while. A little rusty, rough around the edges, but it was all good. So I'm going to try to do this every couple days. I got my computer out so I could finally start editing last year's movie marathon, which is going to be pretty easy to do. I just got to do it. Because I kind of film and edit at the same time. Like, I film my clips as it, like, I film and edit. Like, I film every segment as if it's, already edited. If I mess up, I did it. And then I need to plan on doing this year's marathon, which the rules video is up. So, yeah, it was good seeing all y'all, good talking to all y'all. Definitely wanted to pop my head in here. I definitely want to do more of these. So I'm going to leave my camera set up. Well, I'll just take it off the computer, but I'm going to keep my computer here on my dining room table and just pop in every now and then every couple of days or so and just talk about whatever. And then talk to you guys in the chat, and then, you know, ban trolls from the chat room, that kind of thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sticking with me all these years. And cheers, Ryan. Have a good sleep. Toodle pip. Same to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking by me through all the last few years, which has been really off and on for me in terms of content. But I'm really never going anywhere. So, all right. See you guys later.